So this is Diesel for We the People. This is, I just kind of decompress and having a little fun, and I thought, well, this is interesting. I know I don't have the greatest pictures and all that, but this is a voice teacher that kind of helps teach you how to sing and all that. And this is a reaction to this band, and I thought she just geeks out. And even though the band's awesome, this video is more of how she just geeked out. The reaction is for her and not so much as the band. Not taking anything away from the band. Awesome. But here, check this out, y'all.
And do a cover of it. I just don't know what this is going to look like. So, let's get to it.
You're a mean one, Mr. Grinch. You really are a heel. You're as cuddly as a cactus and as charming as an eel, Mr. Grinch. You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Okay, total first impressions. Here we go. I liked the groove that they set up right away. I thought it was pretty interesting. It has more of like a languorous, almost like something crawling out from underneath a rock kind of feel that they've got going on. And then it was really cool to hear their singer come in and be using a bunch of fry in his voice. So in his low register there, guys can add a little bit of fry and actually get a few more low notes down. That's the sound of fry for me. It's where it kind of gets a little almost raspy, just kind of like edges of the vocal folds there. So he has a lot of that in his lower voice, and that is something I really enjoy hearing, especially if I hear somebody use it like this to help extend for more low notes. I think that's really cool. Now, when he went up higher, I was like, wait a second. That's some amazing resonance. Whew, beautiful resonance on top. Really good enunciation. And did you hear how well he rolled his R? Yeah, I know, ridiculous. But the R roll was so good. Listen to this. Greasy black peel.
Greasy black peel.
I also just timed that perfectly. One more time.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
He is slaying this vocal in so many different ways. One of the things that's really awesome is he keeps changing different octaves. So he'll sing it up higher in the higher octave and then down in the lower octave. And he's got really good delivery in both octaves. In that upper octave, he's also adding some false vocal fold, just like a little extra growl in it, essentially, a little scream, if you will. And you can tell it's just really consistent. It doesn't sound like he's got any bumps in that at all. I think it's a really, really healthy
Sorry.
which sometimes people cringe at. For me, when I hear it done in a good way that seems consistent and reproducible without destroying your vocal folds, then I think it is so cool. So I love what he's doing here. And he also is pulling in this, it's like a jazz style, like a schmoozer kind of style. If you think of like Frank Sinatra or Michael Bublé, there's a way of, he does like a lot more slides into things. It feels kind of liquidy goopy sometimes in that same way. So it's crooner style. That's where I was going for. So he's using some crooner style on top of that. And this is mind-boggling to me because it sounds like he's got like a metal fry scream at the top, but then he has a crooner styling and tons of resonance that sounds like it might have been developed more from classical training. So it's just a ton of different things that he's crossing right now. Not to mention he sounds like a really, really awesome villain, like awesome, like evil, awesome kind of, not like I want to meet you in the street, but it's cool to watch a video about you kind of awesome, evil villain. Let's go back a little bit. There was so much happening in there. I just want to catch it one more time. Ooh, and the breath control at the end is gorgeous. The spiders, that I like the way that he snarls, and look at how much he's opening his mouth to. His enunciation is just beautiful and clear. He even did a little cry off at one point. Wow, okay, I'm geeking out about his voice. It's really good.
Choice between the two of you, I would take the
one of the hardest things about this song, I've coached a bunch of people on it before. One of the hardest things is that you have to try and make each verse interesting. It's just tons and tons of verses that repeat, and they have a different sort of a set of lyrics each time, and you need to color that in a different way. Otherwise, it's not particularly interesting anymore. So I love the way that he's, again, bouncing between those different octaves to keep it super fresh. He's adding and taking away texture in his voice, meaning like a little bit of fry or clean. He's giving different points where he slides, where he snarls more. So he's really involved in the lyrics and telling a story. I love also the moments he's picking to speak this. There are several moments, like the comment about the seasick crocodile at the end there, that's commonly spoken. But it definitely sounds like he's adding like a little more spoken elements to it every now and then as well. And thereby keeping my attention the whole time. I like the way he's obviously put a ton of thought into how he wants to express each of these different lyrics for each of the different verses. Where's this gonna go? Ooh, ooh.
You're a foul one, Mr. Grinch. You're a nasty, nasty skunk. Your heart is full of unwashed socks and your soul is full of gunk, Mr. Grinch.
Okay, come back to this for just a moment. Right when he starts singing here, that is a great example of some vocal fry, as in like vocal fry register, not necessarily like the fry. It's similar, but not the same thing as like adding fry to like a high middle screen.
You're a foul one.
That's a lot of fry in the voice at that point. It's really, really nice. Kind of reminds me of Sean Connery a little bit. And then there's a spot in here where it definitely like pops into this sort of domey resonance. I'll catch that.
Mr. Grinch, you're a nasty wag.
Right there. And like it, most of the time he's up more in the front of his face, but every now and then he plays and he pops back into this really cool resonance back here. And it almost sounds classical for just like a hair of a second, which I think is a really fun thing to just like kind of pepper in there. And then I love the way he says the NK of skunk. A lot of people, when they say final consonants or when they sing final consonants, they'll kind of not really deliver them out. They won't continue to sing all the way through the ends of their phrases. And one of my favorite things is when people like almost kiss off of the final consonant. Listen to the way he sings this NK.
Skunk.
It's like a little kiss on top. It's so perfect. I know.
You're a nasty wag. Skunk.
I love it.
Your heart is full of unwashed socks and your soul is full of gunk. Mr. Grinch. The three best words I would use to describe you are as follows, and I quote: Stag! Stag! Stag!
A cool thing instrumentally the band is doing is I love the way that they play with essentially decay of the sound. Sometimes, like in this case, the drummer was grabbing the cymbals right away to stop them from continued ringing. And they did this earlier too, where they used silence to build up some tension, some anticipation of the next note. So they just did that here. And then the second time when they went through the same pattern, they filled it in, which as an audience member, that gives you anticipation of what could go in that silence. And it draws attention to that then later, and you get a little more satisfaction of being able to hone in on that part of the music. I really like that kind of composition technique. These guys are nuts. Oh, just a second. Is there more here that I'm supposed to watch? No. Okay, that's done. I was afraid I stopped it early. These guys are nuts. And their lead singer is so intentionally good. That's not just natural talent. That is talent that has been practiced. And he's applying it in very particular ways. And I love what he's choosing to do. I have to give a huge shout out to everyone that recommended this song. Wow, you guys nailed this recommendation. What a fun rendition of You're a Mean One, Mr. Grinch. And also, thank you for introducing me to their singer. I'm going to be looking up a lot more about him now. I'd love to hear some more of his work too. He really is very specific about what he's doing. He's not just talented. I imagine that he's done a ton of work in developing his voice so that he can be so specific. He's made intentional choices for each of the verses and the lyrics. And I love hearing.
Thank you. That was a reaction